Hey everyone, welcome back to Hope for Today. I know you need some encouragement today. I know you need some hope, and you're probably feeling weary. Do you have the winter blues? Oh, isn't that horrible when you get that? It's gray, it's cold, it's icy, it's snowy, it's whatever, it's been raining, I don't know. And maybe you're just in a weird place because it's after the holidays and it's not quite spring and you're sort of caught in the middle. What do I do? Where do I go with this? So I just was blessed and I had 5 days off from work. And going into this, the 2 days prior, I had worked really, really long days. So my first day off, I basically was a zombie on the couch staring at a wall. And it felt so good. And I felt so guilty. And my husband said to me, "You're off from work. You're not punching a schedule. Nobody's here to question what you're doing and why you're doing it. Take the day to get rest." So I want to talk about that today. Do you need rest? Are you weary? Are you tired? You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says, all those that are heavy laden to come to him and he will give them rest. We quote that to each other. You hear it preached about. It's almost like one of those verses, like the golden rule, do unto others. And we just say it, I don't want to say flippantly. That's not the word I want to say. But you know how we say things just because it's like fits the moment and it becomes a cliche. We forget that this is scriptural, do unto others. And as you would do unto yourself. You know, so if you would be really good to yourself, obviously you want to make sure you're doing that to other people because that's what the Bible says. Well, the Bible also says if you're heavy burdened and you're heavy laden, to go to him and he'll give you rest. So in 1 Kings chapter 19, you can read from 5 to 18. We're just going to read a little bit of this starting in verse 5. He said, the verse says, "Then he lay down under the bush and fell asleep. All at once an angel touched him and said, 'Get up and eat.' He looked around, and there by his head was some baked bread over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank, and then he lay down again. And then the angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him and said, 'Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you.' So he got up and he ate and he drank. Strengthened by the food, he was able to travel 40 days and 40 nights. And you can continue reading the passage on that. So let's just review that real quick. 1 Kings chapter 19. He lay down under a bush and fell asleep. First of all, what is a bush? He didn't lay in a nice room at the Hilton, you know, first class accommodations. He laid under a bush and fell asleep. And it said that the angel touched him and said, 'Get up and eat.' He looked around, and there by his head was some baked bread over hot coals." Just that image to me of no matter where we are in life, he was under a bush. He was exhausted. He was tired. He was physically tired. But when he woke up, there was baked bread over hot coals and a jug of water. I was sick probably 2 weeks ago, and a coworker texted me and knew I was sick and said, "I'm bringing you some food." She showed up with a large shopping bag from a local grocery store, and in that was a loaf of sourdough bread, homemade chicken salad, homemade soup, a regular green salad, some homemade scones. I think I got it all. But it was a bag of happiness. And let me tell you, I wasn't feeling good. I was physically worn out. I had a fever. I ached from head to toe. And I don't get sick often. And I just was hit hard for 2 days. And to have somebody say to me, "Let me give you some bread. Let me give you some food." I didn't have to prepare it. It fed my family for 3+ days. We had more than enough food. And here, he wakes up, and to find baked bread over hot coals, warm bread. Oh, you ever bake homemade bread? Oh, there's nothing like it, right? You crack it open and the steam comes out, and it's just so comforting, and a jug of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again. He was exhausted. And then the angel came back a second time and touched him and said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." He was recognizing that it was too much physically, emotionally, whatever you want to say. He was exhausted. He needed to be taken care of. He got up and he ate and drank, and then he was strengthened. He was refreshed. The Lord refreshed him, and he could travel where he needed to go to next. Elijah was laying down. Elijah was serving the Lord. Elijah was doing what God called him to do. And he found a bush, and he laid under a bush. To me, the bush, it just represents how, no matter where you are in life, on maybe how low you might be feeling, you know, he was under a bush. You can't get much lower than sleeping under a bush. But sometimes that's how we feel, even if we're in the most luxurious hotel room or a beautiful home. There are times we just feel very low, and we feel very isolated. And, you know, it's just, sometimes it's a mental state. It's not so much a physical. But either way, you still feel that way. God can reach you no matter where you are. God sent an angel to do the providing for Elijah. And, you know, through this angel, God provided physical and emotional sustenance that Elijah needed. He was deeply distressed. He was exhausted from confronting the prophets of Baal. He just needed a break. I don't know how many times I've met, you know, friends I haven't seen in a while, and they're like, "I just need a break." I joke around with my husband, and sometimes, you know, life is crazy. I don't know. Is your life crazy? My life is crazy. And I'll tell my husband, I need a break. I need a commercial break. And you know, people say, "What do you mean a commercial break?" And I'm like, you know, when you're watching TV and you can't wait for the commercial to come on because you have to go to the bathroom. Let's get real. Or you just want to go make a cup of coffee, or you want to fill that bowl up again with some more popcorn, but you don't want to leave the movie because you want to wait for that commercial. And so, you know, comparing that to life, sometimes I find that, you know, life is just full speed ahead, and you can't quite leave, or you don't want to leave, and but you need that commercial break. That's my quirky way of saying it. But anyway, Elijah was exhausted. He was exhausted. He was physically exhausted. Otherwise, he would not be laying down underneath a bush. He was so exhausted, the angel had to wake him up and say, "Hey, you need to eat and drink." How many times have somebody said that to you? You know, you can't keep going like that. You need to take a break. You need to have something to eat. You need to go get something to drink. You need to get your water. You know what? God knows that. God even gives us an example in the Bible that we need to get our rest. We need to eat, and we need to get our drinks. We need to have water, and we need to have refreshment. We need to have things to sustain us. You know, a good, healthy meal. You need to have those things. And I think sometimes, whether you're serving the Lord full time or you're living life, you know, I have a husband with special needs. I have a adult son that lives at home with us who has special needs. I have adult children that are married with grandchildren. I have a mom that's older, and I help take care of all these people in one way or another. That's part of the ministry I have. It's not just that I work full-time outside the home, but I provide a ministry. I serve my family with joy. I love it. I love my kids. I love my husband. I would do anything for them. My grandson, he can do anything he wants. When I'm around, no problem. He can have anything he wants. I'm a grandma now, so I can say that. Mom and Dad, they're the ones that have to be strict, but I've graduated to being a grandma, a nan, and so I can give him what he wants. But, you know, I can help my children that are adults, that have children. They're tired. They're up at night with a crying baby. They're up when that baby's sick. or teething. They're trying to work and take care of a home. I get that. I was there. I remember well. I can serve them. I can take care of them. I can bake them bread and bring them a jug of water or similar. I have people that do that for me, knowing that I have to work full time, and then I take care of my husband, and I take care of my adult son, and I help take care of my mom. I have people that look out for me. You know, physical exhaustion is real. And when you become physically exhausted, you cannot think straight. How many times have you went, oh, I just need something to eat. I haven't eaten all day. I haven't had any water. I can't think straight. It's true. You can't. God has designed our bodies to need food and to need water and to need beverages and to need sleep. That's how we're designed. We're a human being, and God knows that. Here's a perfect example. I just really like this example in the Bible. You know, no matter what you're facing today, no matter where you are today, if you're under a bush, if you're in a hotel room, if you're in your car, or if you're in your home, if you're physically exhausted and you're hungry, take a break. Take a break. Stop and take a break. Even if there's no one there right now making you bread, like the Lord sent an angel, you know what? Reach out to the Lord and tell the Lord, I'm tired and I'm weary and I need some encouragement. I need a little bit of a hope. Lord, I need something. I need to feel that I'm being taken care of. I know many of you are single individuals, whether never married, widowed, divorced, whatever the case might be. You're in a different stage of life right now, and you might be feeling that strain of being alone and there's no one to take care of you. I laugh sometimes. I tell my husband I have a term I've created. I'm a single wife. You hear people saying I'm a single mom. Well, I'm a single wife. What does that mean? Well, many times when I'm sick, which doesn't happen often, but most times, somehow, inevitably, when I get sick, that's when my husband, who has epilepsy, has seizures. Which means I'm not only sick and I can't take care of myself, now I'm trying to take care of him because I'm his caregiver. And I always kind of shake my head and laugh, and I'm like, Lord, you know I'm sick. I can't get off the couch. I don't feel good. I need to be taken care of. And yet I'm taking care of my husband, who obviously can't take care of himself. And sometimes I have to shake my head. And that's the moments that I have to reach out and say, Lord, you know what? If I'm heavy laden and I'm heavy burdened, I need to come to you and I will give you rest. And either the sleep that I have is extra special, my illness goes away quickly, or there's a knock at the door with a bag of food. But guaranteed, when I reach out to the Lord, He gives me what I need. If I'm sleeping under a bush, and that's how I feel sometimes, somehow it is the best sleep I've ever had. He provides that bread on the coals. He provides the jug of water. He provides the physical rest that I need. You know, we're all serving the Lord in one way or another. Life is very crazy. And I don't think we like to admit that we're tired and I need rest. And having those 5 days off was the best thing I did. I knew I hit a wall and I knew it was time. That's why you get vacation days at work. Whether you go away or you sit and stare at a wall, whatever you need to do to get yourself refreshed, you need to do that. And you need to allow the Lord to have people in your life bless you. It is so hard. I'm a giver. I give all the time. I love to give. Accepting is not easy. And accepting gifts, I have learned to say, thank you. Because I know when the Lord lays someone on my heart and I want to take care of them, the worst reaction I can have is, oh, I'm okay. Thank you anyway. But you know the Lord laid this on your heart. And I have to remember when someone else has offered to take care of me, to say, thank you. Allow them to be that angel. God used an angel in Elijah's life. Allow God to send an angel into your life. If it's a coworker, a family member, a neighbor, maybe your spouse. And then when he prompts you to do the same for someone else, you be that angel and give somebody rest. Give them the time they need. Maybe go and clean their house if they're, a new mom, and say, hey, can I do your laundry for you? Can I do your dishes for you? Sometimes I've babysat so my daughter-in-law can clean her house. Has that given her rest? It gave her mental rest. She needed to feel like a wife and mother. She needed to feel like she was part of her home. So by me babysitting and bringing the baby to my house allowed her to have time at her home, maybe to take a nap and get the physical rest, maybe to grab a cup of coffee and a snack to be refreshed. And then I gave her that mental break, that mental rest, so that she could clean her home and feel good and proud as a mom that I took care of my family. There's so many ways we can take care of each other. Listen, we're there for each other. This is called the family of God. And we need to be there for each other. We're all going through so many things. Reach out to somebody, and also be accepting when they need to reach out to you. And most importantly, let the Lord know, hey, I'm tired. I'm burdened. I'm heavy laden. I'm exhausted. I'm hungry. Lord, I need help. Trust me, He will send an angel in one form or another to make sure that you get your rest, you get your food, you get everything you need. And then you can be refreshed and continue on the journey that He has for you. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week on the next podcast of Hope for Today.